Hello, and welcome to this week's Pick Your Pokemon Oracle card reading. This week's prompt is, what are you ready to ghost in 2026? This week we have Banette, Mimikyu, and Mismagius. I'm realizing as I start to film this that I did not do my nails. Spooky scary. I'll take it. Maybe it's on brand with the reading. So here we have, each pile has a couple tarot cards, a couple archetype cards, and a couple Hecate cards. We will pull a qualifier card out of this deck, and then we will also pull some cards here from my deck. The pre-order is currently up for the second printing of this deck on an evenweirderowl.com. The timestamps are in the description. Find yours and I'll meet you there. All right, Banette pile, you are up first. We'll go ahead and drop these in here. Let's see what your qualifier card is for this reading. Warrior, Tewas, in all surrounding, I can effortlessly quiet my mind and observe a situation with a neutral objectivity. In doing so, I awaken my warrior within. Okay, so we're asking the question, what are we leaving behind? What are we ghosting in 2026? Let's dive in for a little more. The Chariot. This is not only fast movement or movement forward in any kind, but it's also going on a journey of self-discovery, getting out and looking at things in a new way. It's momentum and perspective. And we have the Devil. This is perspective about something that you've maybe been trying to solve or work through for quite a while. I see there being a lot of effort towards this. And I think that our qualifier here talks about that, right? It talks about observing this with a neutral objectivity, about observing it from a new perspective so that you can move forward. We have the Lover. This could be something that has to do with your relationship, not only with another person. It doesn't have to necessarily be romantic, but it can also be the relationship with yourself. It's the sensual Venetian part of you. There's some kind of habit or addiction or thing that you're attached to in relation to other people that you're ready to leave behind. You're ready to see it with fresh eyes, to see neutrally with objectivity so that you can move away from it. And you know this. And this is a knowing not that was taught to you, but a knowing that was provided to you through the felt experience. This is a deep knowing that you have, that you're ready. It's time to move on. You're ready to move on. You're ready for something new. You're ready to leave whatever this is behind. The Desert. It's maybe felt like it has been really hard to do this. Again, I see this as something you've been working on for a while, but you've reached a new level of ready to let it go, of ready to move past it, of ready to move beyond it. And it might kind of feel like you're dragging yourself at this point, like you're, waiting for an oasis, waiting for water to appear. And it's close. Your commitment to this is going to be the perspective shift you need to move past it. We have Dichotomy. This is about moving through all of the different aspects of yourself. Going through the dark and the light, allowing them to both exist, accepting the contradictions of them both existing, and loving both parts of you, because both sides serve a purpose. Both of them move in a specific direction. They are you. Origins. This is something for you to be able to get out of this desert, to move beyond it. There is something asking you to look back to understand the past, understand how this has played out for you in the past, so that you can pull that power into the present and use it to direct your future. By understanding the past, you're going to be able to move forward in a new way. And again, this fresh perspective is going to allow you to kind of piece all of this together. And we have dreams. Heed your dreams. Your dreams are telling you something. Maybe you've been having dreams about this past experience. Maybe you've been having dreams about relationships in general. I definitely feel like this has to do with relationships. And it has to do with maybe vilifying a part of yourself that is there to help you succeed. You know you're ready. You know it's time to go, so go. Let's see what other cards we got here. Oh, I grabbed the wrong deck, but you know what? I grabbed the wrong deck. Let's see what it says. Constraint. I am perfectly poised in heated situations. I know when to wait to respond calmly and thoughtfully when the time is right. I think constraint and this neutral objectivity go together quite well. I'm going to put this here. I didn't mean to grab it, but I did. So here we are. I don't feel like you know all of it yet. Part of this process is going to be separating how you really feel from how you've been conditioned to feel, how you've been conditioned to believe you need to act, to how you need to show up, how you need to feel about other people and other people's behavior. Our feelings don't care about logic. And there's been a pattern here of trying to force or control or ignore how you really feel. And you can't do that and succeed on this journey. You need to name the issue and take your power back. There is something here about trying to control your shadow. And our shadow responds to respect, not repression. You need to channel it towards something powerful, towards something meaningful, towards something useful, and allow it to do its job because it has gifts that it can provide for you if you're willing to allow it. That doesn't mean you let it go free reign, but it means that you integrate it and recognize that it's part of who you are and it's not the villain of your story. You can be authentic and self-directed. You're the director of your life. You get to decide how you move forward and what that looks like and who you are and what you do. There's some grasping, some attachment, some distrust that is in this relationship dynamic or structure that you build. And again, this is something you need to take your power back from. You need to connect deeply with your inner world and take time to take care of yourself and to connect with, embrace, and love all of the parts of you, even the ones you'd rather not admit exist. And especially the ones that you've been avoiding. There's an imbalance of how you connect with and view yourself, view the different aspects of yourself. It's important to approach this with a sense of non-duality, of believing that when we assign a value judgment of good or bad, we don't collect all the data from the situation. And there's a lot more data in our feelings and in our shadow than we give them credit for. You're ready to move beyond this. So you need to look it square in the face. You need to look at it objectively without a value judgment. You need to listen, look back at where it all started, listen to your gut telling you that you know that it's time for it to go. And stop trying to force this part of you to fit into a box of how you think you're supposed to feel or be. And just be. Connect with yourself, and love the parts of yourself that you're avoiding. Because the freedom from this is in the thing you're avoiding. So go for it. You're ready to leave this dynamic with yourself behind in 2026. And I'm so proud of you for doing the work to get to this point. Leave a comment. Let me know if this landed for you. What did it, how did it land for you? What Pokemon did you choose? I think 2026 is going to be really great for you. I can't wait to hear about it. Bye. Mimikyu pile, welcome. Let's go ahead and get you set up here. I'm going to go ahead and take a qualifier card to find out a little more about what this reading is going to be about, what you're ready to ghost in 2026. The clarity, it's breakthrough, Degas. The clarity you seek comes from within. Degas reminds us that when we tune into the vibration of our inner voice versus seeking validation from others, we finally know the truth we seek. Be open to receive. This has to do with leaving behind the need for validation from others, from listening to our inner wisdom. The star healing our relationship, not only with ourselves, but with the world. This is a very internal journey for you. Yeah, wow. The moon. This is a very internal journey for you. This is looking past illusion and ideas that you've built up over time. What a cool breakthrough. What a cool thing to be leaving behind. The sword is to decide. It's to cut through to the essential and to cut through what's unnecessary now so that we can grow into the base form of ourselves. The village. This might mean that you're ready to leave behind. You know, I think I got this card last week and I used the kind of example of being ready to leave the Shire behind. This is about leaving behind this side. There's a group of people or an ideology or some kind of structure in your life that's imposing on you ideas and beliefs, external validation, external confirmation of your truth that you're ready to leave behind. You don't need that. Everything is inside of you. You validate your truth. You don't need anyone else to do that. Agape, this is about unconditional love for the self and for others. There's this a sense of awe here of your own wisdom, of your own power, of your own truth. This is, wow, this is such a deep connection with yourself, a deep trust of yourself and your truth and your soul. And I love it so much. Cycles. There might be times when you feel like you're treading ground that you've already tread, because life is a spiral. We just move higher and higher up the spiral. So we have a higher perspective and we come around to the same thing again and again with more knowledge, more wisdom, more data. I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that you've maybe come in contact with quite a few times over the years. And this is kind of like its final form of you finally choosing yourself, finally choosing your own wisdom, your own validation. But you have to have this kind of catalyst event that pushes you to do so. Knowledge. We apply knowledge and wisdom with reason. There's a sense of you've gained all this knowledge from this spiral and now you've made it to such a high point that you can kind of pinpoint where this knowledge is necessary. And it's this knowledge of self, this trust of self. Like, wow, this is so, I think, very direct to me. And honors Zeus. It's about honoring your sovereignty, honoring your power, not letting yourself be taken advantage of by people who believe that they know what's best for you. And they can be the most well-meaning people. This isn't to vilify them. This is just the truth. This is just the truth. You are a sovereign being in your authority and you can decide what's for you. You don't need someone else to tell you what it is. There's been an imbalance between head and heart. I think that like what you know deep down versus what your ego or logic tells you you must do, what you've been conditioned to do. This is about romanticizing your existence. Man, this connection with yourself is just so real. There's an old pattern here of self-doubt, and that's why you turn to other people to tell you what something is. But you are a sweet baby angel, and you're going to be in deep connection with yourself. So use that connection to advocate for yourself, to stand up for yourself, and stand up for what you want and what you know is true for you. There might be this energy of limiting yourself to this idea or this box of what people have put you in, that you can't go beyond it, but going beyond it is exactly what you're going to do in 2026. I don't necessarily think this is a train you can stop. I don't think this is something you have to force. I think it's going to happen no matter what, but you can choose to be along for the ride instead of grasping or being attached to something else. Create security and foundation for yourself. Find a healthy balance with your masculine energy. And I compare this card a lot to the Fool. It says moving forward with joy and excitement and wonder. This is a new adventure, and it's going to be wonderful. You are ready to leave behind the part of you that needs someone else to validate your truth, to validate your experience, and to validate what you know. People, even the most well-meaning people, can take advantage of that desire for someone else to validate, and you don't need that anymore. This is about breaking through and connecting with yourself in such a meaningful way, healing in such a meaningful way, and being in awe and in childlike wonder and joy and excitement of the gifts that doing that brings you. There will be a moment here where you can apply this knowledge with reason, and it's going to change your life. Honor your power, honor your sovereignty, and let go of the illusion that it needs to be anyone other than you. Mimikyu Pile, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited for you. This is going to be so cool, and I'm so excited. Leave a comment. Let me know which Pokemon you chose. Let me know how it landed for you. I cannot wait to hear how this happens because it's going to be amazing. I hope to see you next week. Thanks, Mimikyu Pile. Mismagius Pile, welcome. Mischievous is one of my favorites, but I liked that this one was holographic. Okay, first let's see what our clarifier card is here. Disruption. Expect the unexpected without fear, trusting completely that what waits for you on the other side of this shift will be best for all parties involved. This has to do with trusting that everything is going to work out in your favor, that you'll have everything you need. We have the Hanged Man. You maybe feel kind of trapped right now, maybe feel kind of stuck in not knowing what's going to happen, in being fearful about whether or not it's all going to work out. And this is saying that you don't need to be fearful, that you can trust, you can expect the unexpected. Justice will be done. The scales will be balanced. What you've put in, you will receive. What you have sown, you will reap. This has been a pretty big death for you, a time of not knowing where things are going and what things are. And that's scary, believe me, I know. But this is, gosh, this is just so amazing. I keep hearing the phrase, and I've heard this in my own meditations, if you knew how it was going to end up, you wouldn't be worried. The vision, stay connected to your vision. You have a vision for the future that you've been working toward, and you need to stay very connected with that. Stay connected with how you believe things will move forward, and stay connected with what you want and where you're headed. And trust that even though it might not look like exactly what you want, or it might not happen the way you think it will happen, trust and expect that it will happen without fear. The castle. We're entering our this is kind of a two-parter card, and I think that both meanings are meaningful here. So the first part is seated in your throne of power. They're asking you to be seated in your throne of power and to trust and believe and have faith. And also, sometimes the castle builds walls to keep people out. And we need to go beyond it. We can get trapped. It's like a spell we're trapped inside of. Your fear is the castle. Your lack of trust is the castle. And it's time to scale the walls. Unity. This is about unifying with the different parts of yourself, fanning that ember inside of you into a bright flame so that you can move forward. Use it as your light as you move forward towards your vision. Guidance. You're being guided. You're being led exactly where you need to be. I love it's 1516. This is, oh, interesting. And it's 1112. There's, and now I'm like looking at all like the numbers. I think there's a lack of self-trust here, but there's also a lack of trust in the divine and your guides and in what's meant for you. And you don't need to put your energy into it. Any delays, any redirection, it's all guiding you, taking you exactly where you're supposed to go and molding you into the unified version of yourself that is required to receive it. Growth. One of the quotes from this card that I think about a lot is that you gradually accept your new life. There's this energy of the cycles of death and rebirth of Core of Persephone. And it requires growing through and into constant new versions of yourself. These rebirths are happening with purpose. These deaths are happening with purpose. And you felt trapped in the cycle, but you just need to allow them to happen as you move towards your vision. Don't get trapped in your fear. Put your energy forward. Yeah, there's a grasping. Again, we have this distrust of the divine, of fate, of being on the right path, but you're there. You're trapped by your own fear. And I think you're avoiding facing the fact that your mind is very much stuck there and that it's blocking your expansion. There's a part of you that's feeling very unseen and unheard. And I think it's a very, it's like your higher self, your deep knowing. Nurture and find compassion for the part of you that feels fear. I'm actually gonna kind of backpedal here a little bit because I think I misspoke earlier and I want to clarify what I said. You're avoiding the part of you that's distrusting of this, and your avoidance of it is blocking the expansion, not the distrust. The part of you, the protector part of you that is worried, is fearful, feels unseen and unheard, and so it just keeps getting louder. You need to nurture and care for that part of you. That's how you take your power back. That's how you break the spell. That's how you get out of this trap that you're in, that you've put yourself in. And that's okay. We all do it. But that means looking at that part of yourself with love and compassion and not avoiding the discomfort of sitting with them. That part's afraid for a reason. How old are they? Why are they afraid? What experiences like this have they had before that is feeding the fear? What is the origin? What is the source of this spell? By avoiding sitting with it, you're lost in illusion and fear and ego, and it's time for you to face it, to look it square in the face and say, I trust. I love you, and I'm sorry that you're scared. Why are you scared? Connect with that part of you. That's the doorway. That's the key. See if there's anything else they want to add. Face repressed feelings and beliefs you have around this fear. And I know I'm saying this like it's simple. I know it's not. And also, you can do it. And when you do, when you find connection with this part of yourself, when you build this wholeness, this oneness, this internal community, it's going to be easy for you to expect the unexpected without fear. And to trust that all of this death was for a purpose. All of it is taking you exactly where it is you need to go, and you're ready to go there. I know it's scary, but that part of you needs you right now. So love them, embrace them, and show them that their feelings are valid and welcome, and that you will take care of them. That's how you break the spell. I love that this was the Mismagius one. Mismagius Pile, this is your reading. Leave a comment. Tell me how it landed for you. Tell me what Pokemon you chose. Tell me, wow. I feel kind of personally attacked by this reading. I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much again for joining, and I'll see you next week.